Welcome to Hollywood Studios. It is Tuesday, April the 28th, and I am here inspired by a conversation I had with a friend of mine just last week. They recently bought annual passes to Disney World, and he told me, he goes, I really don't know the parks that well, but I'm really excited to go visit Hollywood Studios because I love Harry Potter. I was like, wah, wah. I hear that a lot. I used to volunteer at a place that would host families visiting the Orlando area to see the parks, and I would often hear from parents and kids, can't wait to go to Hollywood Studios because, man, I love Harry Potter. And I thought, you know what, I should really do a really good Hollywood Studios tour. Just kind of going around the park, breaking down what all it has to offer and to show you Harry Potter's not there. Also could serve as a really great timestamp because this park is going through a lot of changes. And it'll be kind of nice to look back and remember what was Hollywood Studios like in April of 2026. Because this park is about to change. Just next month in May, we're going to be hit with some changes and then all sorts of changes coming in the future in 2028. So we're going to tour this park. We're going to talk about what it's like today, what it'll be like tomorrow, and we're going to have some Hollywood Studios fun. Are you ready? Let's go! Okay, so just a little history in case you don't know. Hollywood Studios originally opened as MGM Studios back in May of 1989. And it operated that way for about, 19 years. And the park back then was very much focused on a behind the scenes look at movie making. And they had things like the backstage lot tour. There was an actual production company in the park. As a matter of fact, Lilo and Stitch was made inside this park. So it was very much about behind the scenes of the movies, getting to see how the sausage is made, so to speak. And then when their agreement with MGM Studios changed, or ended, I should say, they decided to change the park. And it started to go from a focus of the behind the scenes look at movies to taking you into the movie. So instead of finding out how the sausage is made, you get to just become part of the story. So think about Toy Story Land, which they opened up several years ago. Under the old method of thinking, we would have been given an exhibit where we got to see how a big animated feature film like that is made and learn all the behind the scenes secrets they use to bring that story alive. But instead, what we got was Toy Story Land, where we go into the story. We become toys. We go into Andy's backyard. We play Andy's games and ride on Andy's roller coaster. So it was a different way of thinking, in my opinion, a more fun way of thinking, but it's all centered around the same thing. Hollywood, storytelling, movies, bringing things to life. And I really like the direction they're going. And if you've ever ridden Rise of Resistance, you definitely understand that direction of bringing you into the movie, bringing you into the experience, because that ride makes you feel like you're literally in a Star Wars movie. So this park has changed a lot over the years, and as I said, change is continuing. Walt did not want his parks to be static. He wanted them to grow. He wanted them to evolve. He wanted for there to be a room for innovation. And if things are static, you're not going to get any innovation. So he always encourages Imagineers to be thinking about tomorrow and what else can we bring to these parks. Okay, before I head into security, I just want to give you all a few notes to help you out if you're coming to visit Hollywood Studios. For one, there are restrooms outside of security. They're right over here as you make your way in from the parking lots. If you're coming in from the bus, you're going to have to walk around the security area to make your way over to the restrooms. Now, speaking of the buses, that's one way that you can get here if you're staying at a Disney resort. But this resort has Skyliner access. So if you're staying at Pop Century, Art of Animation, Caribbean Beach, or the Riviera, and you can use the Skyliner to get from your resort to Hollywood Studios. The Skyliner also connects to Epcot. So if you're at Epcot, you can use the Skyliner to make your way over here. Or if you're staying at one of those Epcot resorts, like the Boardwalk or the Yacht Club, Those resorts right there by Epcot, you can get on the Skyliner, make your way over here. But the great thing about those resorts is they also have a boat that will bring you from that resort area to Hollywood Studios. So if you're staying in those resorts right there by Epcot, what is it? The Beach Club, the Yacht Club, Boardwalk, Swan and Dolphin, you can actually choose between the Skyliner or the boat. All right, I made it through security, getting ready to go into the park. I saw some people get pulled aside for a bag check, and for one lady it was because of her umbrellas. So if you have umbrellas in your backpack, pull them out before you go through security, put them in your hand, and then hold them out straight in front of you. That will keep you from getting a bag check. Get you through security just a little bit faster. All right, let's go get in the park. One of the first people to greet you when you enter the park is Bo. So say hi to Bo as you walk by. Then you make your way over to get yourself a map. Now, if you don't want to use a paper map, you can use the app. But I like to point out these Fun for Families with Kids. For one, it can give your kids something to look at in the stroller. Entertain them, give them something to look at and to help you decide what you want to do. Plus, it's also fun to know what kind of activities that are in the park that really fit young kids. So even if you are going to use your app for the map, you still might want to grab one of these. This gas station here is where you can pick up your scooter if you're needing one. It's also where you find your first restrooms once you enter the park. Now here on top of Crossroads of the World, you're going to see Mickey Mouse greeting you as you walk in the park. But he does more than just greet you, he keeps you safe. He's a lightning rod. So when you first enter the park, you're going to have shops to your left and to your right. Kind of like Main Street. Shops to your left and your right as you're walking up Main Street. And it's also where you're going to find the Starbucks. If you need somebody who needs that caffeine fix in the morning, you don't have to go too far. So we were walking on Hollywood Boulevard, but we're going to take our first right and make our way down Sunset Boulevard. Sunset Boulevard is also going to have a number of shops to the left and to the right as you're walking down it. A number of opportunities for you to do some shopping. There are a couple of snack carts. And then as you get to the end of the road, there are some quick service restaurants. But the star of Sunset Boulevard is the Hollywood Tower Hotel. Grabs your attention from a distance, draws you in. About halfway down Sunset Boulevard, you'll come across these restrooms. They're to your right if you're walking towards the Tower of Terror. And like I said, lots of shops. Disney always gives you lots of shopping opportunities. Isn't that nice of them? Such a fancy, dapper Mickey Mouse. And keep heading down Sunset Boulevard. It's a little ways past those restrooms. And to your left, you're going to see this eating area, the Sunset Ranch Market. There are two quick service places here. One of them is Catalina Eddie's. They recently had a menu change. They now serve pasta. They have an Alfredo dish and a chicken parmesan. And then you've also got Rosie's All-American Cafe. And it's just as you expect from the name, right? Burgers, chili cheese dog, chicken strips. It's a pretty decent amount of seating here, although sometimes when it's busy, it can get a little hairy finding a table. But as you can see, a lot of the tables have umbrellas. Plus there's a lot of shading over here, a lot of covering. So you can find a place to get out of the heat, relax, eat a nice meal. All right, let's keep moving. Because just across from where I am is the Theater of the Stars. And that is where you can see a live performance of Beauty and the Beast. Happens multiple times throughout the day. You see 5 different performances throughout the day. It is a really good live show. And right by the Theater of the Stars is the Hollywood Hills Amphitheater. And that is where you can see Fantasmic almost every night. There's a night coming up that a company has rented out the park. And so there will be no Fantasmic that night. It is pretty rare that there's no Fantasmic. There's going to be a special event happening. But it happens most nights, and it is an amazing show. I highly advise you take the time to go see it. If you want, they have dining packages that you can buy where you eat at one of the sit-down restaurants here. Then they give you special seating for the show. You're right in the middle part of the amphitheater. So if you want to get good seats, you should look into that. I'm trying to give you guys some useful information. So there are a lot of bathrooms on Sunset Boulevard. We talked about the first set. There's some other ones right down here by the Tower of Terror ride. And then in a moment, we make our way over by Rock and Roller Coaster. There are more bathrooms over there. So plenty of opportunities here on Sunset Boulevard. Speaking of Tower of Terror, it says 30 minutes. I think I'm gonna hop in. Oh, we're getting closer, friends. There was a time for a while that they were having a meet and greet with Goofy and our Max right here. But I haven't seen that in a couple years. Good news is, we're about to go in the hotel.
Okay, guys.
I love this queue. And I'm going to have to go through it quickly. Oh, I'm getting stopped. You feel like you stepped into an old abandoned Hollywood hotel? One. Thanks.
How many over here? How many night parties? You did next.
I'm actually doing something. Everyone, please continue moving all the way to the library.
Is this the right or not right? We need to ask.
We go up and we get drops standing.
I would be so pissed. Let me be in the middle so that way
Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You just crossed over into the Twilight Zone. Hollywood, 1939. Amid the glitz and the glitter of a bustling young movie town at the height of its golden age, the Hollywood Tower Hotel was a star in its own right, a beacon for the show business elite. Now, something is about to happen that will change all that. The time is now, on an evening very much like the one we have just witnessed. story in the Twilight Zone is somewhat unique and calls for a different kind of introduction. This, as you may recognize, is a maintenance service elevator, still in operation, waiting for you. We invite you, if you dare, to step aboard, because in tonight's episode, you are the star, and this elevator travels directly to the Twilight Zone.
Buckle your seatbelts from left to right and left to right only. Once you've successfully buckled your seatbelts, please secure any personal items that you have at the conscious of the hats and loose bottles.
To our valued guests, for your safety once on board,
One stormy night long ago, 5 people stepped through the door of an elevator into one nightmare. That door is opening once again, and this time, it's opening for you.
That's not good.
You are about to discover what lies beyond the 5th dimension, beyond the deepest, darkest corner of the imagination, in the Tower of Terror.
That's awesome. Lights are going to go on.
So our ride seems to be broken. It was kind of creepy seeing these figurines bobble up and down.
That's so funny. The judge take my cry. Cry and cry like that. I know crowd sucks.
Are they coming through well at all?
Look at the copy.
I like these clear figurines just bobbling.
Oh, it is. Oh, it's a yeah.
If we have to get walked off, I'm expecting the person to come through that mirror door right there. But I haven't been walked off this ride yet. Been walked off many of them, but not this one yet. So we got walked off the ride. It's my first time to get walked off Tower of Terror, so I can cross that off my list, right? A little bit of an unexpected disappointment, but I expect the ride to be back up again soon. I believe they've given me a lightning lane to use to come back, so that is my plan, to come back in a little bit and try to ride it again. Because I like to show this ride on a video where I am touring this park, because I think this ride, more than any other in this park, gets to people. You know, people get a little scared in the queue, the pre-show, the ride itself for being thrown up and down. It does intimidate kids, even some adults. So I like to show that ride so that people know what to expect, kind of get an idea of whether or not it'll be too much for them. Because, you know, it's good to know what you have in front of you before you go into it, right? So while I wait to see what's going to happen with Tower of Terror, I came to check out the progress on Rock and Roller Coaster. Look at that limo. That is awesome. That looks amazing. And the scrim is down, and you can see the guitar. How awesome is that? I like the choice of color for the building too.
Same crap.
The guitar looks absolutely amazing. So in case you're new to this park and aren't sure exactly what I'm talking about here, this ride is called Rock and Roller Coaster. And since its inception, it has been an Aerosmith themed ride. You would go into a studio to see Aerosmith working on an album, and they find out they need to go across town to a concert, and they invite us to join us. We all get back row, backstage passes. And we get in a stretch limo to race across Los Angeles to make it to their concert in time. But they have shut down the ride to retheme it, to go from Aerosmith to the Muppets. So on May 26th, just less than a month away, this ride is going to reopen with Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem, bringing the rock and roll. I'm so excited. I love the Muppets. I love this ride. I'm all for it. Let's do it. And as I mentioned earlier, there are restrooms down here by the Rock and Roller Coaster ride. Because let's face it, after you do a couple of loops on that ride, you may need the restroom. Now, some people think that there's nothing more in this part of the park, but there's actually a really great show back here behind Rock and Roller Coaster. This theater is called the Sunset Showcase. And this show is called Villains, Unfairly Ever After. I came here on another video and saw this show and the Frozen sing-along show. I'll put a link to that video in the description for this video, and you can go back and check out both of those shows, see which one you think is better. But if you come here for a park visit, I would suggest doing both of them, not just one. And in case you can't quite make out that sign, it does say that there are restrooms down here on this end of the theater, which I gotta be honest with you, I had not noticed before. Double checked, and those restrooms are just inside those double doors right there. I didn't even know these restrooms were here, so I'm finding new stuff today myself. And I hope that that's really helpful to you. I know for me and my family, we really like to know where the restrooms are. When you got little ones, sometimes they need to go in a hurry because they don't manage their body super well. They just haven't had a lot of practice yet. And then sometimes as an adult, if you've been having a lot of caffeinated drinks or alcoholic drinks, sometimes it can hit you quickly. So I just thought I'd help you out, let you know where you can go. All right, so Villain show back behind Rock and Roller Coaster. Really good, really fun. Highly advise checking it out sometime, especially if you like the villains. And again, I'll provide a link to the video where I did both of those shows, the Villain show and the Frozen show. Those aren't the only shows in this park. As we talked about earlier, you have the Beauty and the Beast show, then there's the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular, and then of course the night show of Fantasmic. All right, we're gonna head back down Sunset Boulevard. Make our way to a central area of the park and talk about where you can go next and what other fun things you can do here. Fairfax Fair is down here on the end of Sunset Boulevard, close to Catalina Eddie's and Rosie's All-American Grill. And it's where you can get some drinks and some snacks. There's also another snack shop just down here to the right that's really good for getting fresh fruit, which that can be a great option at the parks. Gives you a little bit of fiber, a little bit of water, good stuff for your body to fuel you, keep you going. There's a pin shop here on Sunset Boulevard. It is right next to the snack stand I was just talking about, where you can get some fresh fruit along with some other items. Churros, as always. And here we have a nice little refreshment stand for you to get some drinks. There are a lot of shops on Sunset Boulevard. Not going to go in any today. So this is just a generalized tour of the park. Don't know if we're going to spend any time looking at merch today. All right, so we are making our way to the intersection where we made a right earlier to head down Sunset Boulevard. But now we're going to head right up Hollywood Boulevard. Same road we were on when we entered the park. And as you can see, it leads you straight to the Chinese Theater. This is a replica of the famous Chinese Theater that is in Hollywood, California. They put a great deal of effort into making it as close as possible to the real thing. Now, one cool thing about this central hub area of the park is sometimes you can find some live shows.
When you hear that sound,
these guys perform with Donald Duck.
That's a record!
To do some fun juggling acts to try to set some world records. It's a fun show. I've recorded parts of it in some of my past Hollywood Studios videos. Now, inside the Chinese Theater, we used to have a ride called the Great American Movie Ride. And it kind of went through the history of Hollywood, showing a bunch of the great movies that we have all loved and enjoyed over the years. But that was shut down and replaced by Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And though I love the Great American Movie Ride, I love Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, so I'm not too upset by this change. That ride is a lot of fun. And when you're in this central hub area, there are multiple ways you can go. You can see there's Hollywood Boulevard where we walked up from. If you go down this way, you're going to head towards Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular. Eventually, you will make your way to Batuu, Galaxy's Edge. But before you hit it, you're going to pass by what used to be Muppets Courtyard, but is now being changed over to Monstropolis.
3 or 4.
That's a tie. We don't do that.
I have 5 juggling.
Another way you can go is this way, where you walk by the queue to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. You're going to go down these steps, and this is the way to Toy Story Land. So I always think of it, go this way to Batuu, this way to Toy Story Land. And let's head over there now. Now, as I started to make my way over to those steps to head down towards Toy Story Land, I was reminded of what we're about to get back here and the new Disney animation. The magic of Disney animation. I want to call it Animation Courtyard, which is what it used to be called years ago. But now it will be the magic of Disney animation. And one of the cool things that you can do back here, I've already heard about this, is there's going to be an animation class where they will teach you how to draw, and it's going to be hosted by Olaf. So you'll be able to go back to the magic of Disney animation and learn how to draw Disney characters with the help of Olaf. So this is going to be opening up May 26th, the same time as the Muppets Rock and Roller Coaster. So we talked about this in the intro. In May, this park is going to go through some changes. This new area will be open. The magic of Disney animation with Olaf, and Rock and Roller Coaster with the Muppets. So if you're coming in late May or in June, you're going to have some new stuff to experience in this park. These parks are always changing. They'll go through short periods of being kind of static. Epcot's kind of in that right now. There are huge projects happening in Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, and Hollywood Studios. You can actually get to Galaxy's Edge through Toy Story Land. I'll show you that later. But as you come down these steps, if you take a right, you can go to this theater to see the Little Mermaid show. If you have not seen this show in years, come back to it because they redid it, gosh, what was it, like a year and a half ago? I'm trying to think how long ago that was. But it's an all-new show now. I mean, it's a Little Mermaid, so it's still the same story, but it's completely redone. And they did a fantastic job. I'll come back some other time and do this show. It gets me in a lot of copyright trouble with YouTube, but I still think it'd be worth it to get it on a video so people can see it. But you don't want to miss that. It is a really fun show, really well done. All right. So as you start to make your way from this theater towards Toy Story Land, you're going to pass by Walt Disney Presents. In there, they have a lot of historical Walt Disney items for you to see, talking about his childhood, his life, and the company that he created, and the parks that he created. There's usually a meet and greet in there. For a while now, it's been the Ariel from the live action, and it looks like it still is, yep. Ariel from the live action. So you can do a meet and greet and learn more about the great man that made all this possible. So you'll hit this corner where you can turn right and make your way into Toy Story Land, which we will here in just a second. But I want to point out first, there are restrooms right here. This place right here called The Market, they sell Jack Jack Num Num cookies. So if you've watched Incredibles 2 and thought to yourself, man, I'd like to have a Jack Jack Num Num cookie, there's your spot. In fact, I should probably stop by there later and grab one for my son. If you see these doors open, head back here if you like meet and greets, because they will have multiple meet and greets going back here whenever you see these doors open. Today they have Joy. Usually down here there is Sully. Yep, I see Sully. They have a special meet and greet area right here for Edna Mode, which is so much fun to meet. I love Edna Mode. I can't remember. I know I've been back here before, but I am drawing a complete blank on who the other meet and greet is. I was struggling trying to remember who is doing the other meet and greet back here. It's Miss Incredible. And then cast member told me that Frozone is often back here, and he'll just kind of walk around and meet and greet with people. So Frozone, Sully, Miss Incredible, and Joy. I don't know if that's always who's back here. That's who has been back here the last couple of times I have come back here. Oh, and Edna Mode. How could I forget Edna Mode? What is wrong with my brain at the moment? So, if you're a meet and greet person, you see these doors open, run back here, have some fun. So as you're entering Toy Story Land, just to your left is where Buzz Lightyear does his meet and greet. So you'll see a line here, people waiting to meet him. And there are other characters that you can meet at Toy Story Land. Jessie and Woody will often be available right over here by Toy Story Mania. I'll show you here in a minute. But one of the first things you come across as you enter Toy Story Land from this way is Roundup Rodeo Barbecue. Roundup Rodeo Barbecue is a sit-down restaurant. You're going to need reservations. It is good barbecue, good sides, good cornbread. My wife and I really like to eat here. Now, I've got to warn you though, Andy may come to visit the restaurant, and if so, you got to remember you're a toy. Stay still, just like this guy. Do not move an inch. Slinky Dog Dash. This is the most popular attraction in Toy Story Land.
There goes Slinky Dog, full of new toys.
Oh, I wish Slinky Dog would slow down. He's making me dizzy.
It'll get a really long line. If you are booking Lightning Lanes, I highly suggest getting one for this ride. Not only because it gets a really long line, but it's a pretty hot queue. There's not a lot of shade to it. The second most popular ride in this land is Toy Story Mania. And Toy Story Mania is part ride, part video game. You're going to sit in a cart and you're going to go around to a bunch of different screens. And in each screen, you're going to be playing a different midway game. You might be tossing rings, you might be shooting at balloons. And then right next to it is that meet and greet I was telling you about. Usually you have Woody and Jessie, but right now only Woody's there. That's kind of strange. I'm used to seeing them both. Main place for food in Toy Story Land is Woody's Lunchbox. In fact, I think this is where I'm going to get food from today. I should put it in order. This is one of my favorite parts of the ride. It's got a second boost. And it's just like you would expect from like an old play set. How fun is that? I love this ride. I've ridden it in one of my past videos. Like I said, Woody's Lunchbox is the place for getting, real food. But there are snack stands around Toy Story Land. There's also this new snack stand they put down here on the end where you can get some alcoholic drinks and some different snacks. We'll go check that out here in a second. I showed you some restrooms you can hit before you enter this land. There's one set of bathrooms inside this land. It's right here. It's right next to Woody's Lunchbox. And just before you go to a foreign planet. The third ride in Toy Story Land, Alien Swirling Saucers. It's one of those rides that kind of whips you around. If you have ridden Tow Mater's ride in Disneyland, California Adventure, it's the exact same ride system. Just going to spin you around and whip you. Really fun. The aliens are involved. It's got fun music to it. It's a cool ride. Your little ones will love it. Like I said, the snack stand has a lot of your standard options, churro, popcorn, but it has the Pizza Planet spring rolls, which are really popular, and alcoholic drinks. Here on the side of this building, they have a drawing of what the cart looks like that you're in on Toy Story Mania. So you can see those devices right there in front of you. You pull back in that little string, and that's what you use to shoot. You aim it, and you score lots of points. Try to beat everybody in your family. Okay, so I know just a second ago, we were in Toy Story Land at the end of it, right before you head into Batuu. And you're like, wait a minute, why did he come back here? Because I was hoping this would help you out. So you know, okay, when I'm in the Central Hub area, looking at the Chinese theater, I go to my right, I'm heading towards Toy Story Land, seeing all the stuff that we just saw, or I can go to my left. And when you go to your left, you have two different ways you can go left. And I'm going to show you both of them. The first one, we're going to go by the Hyperion Theater, which is where you can see the Frozen Sing-Along Spectacular. Wait a minute. Let me try this again. All right, so one of the first things you're going to see is the Hyperion Theater, where you can watch the Frozen Sing-Along Celebration. As you can see, they have lots of shows throughout the day.
I was about to do it and I saw you beat me to it.
It is a really fun show. As the title says, you get to sing along to all the great songs. And you have the two historians, the storytellers from Arendelle, who really bring the show to life. Even though it's a sing-along, you would think the songs are the star of the show. I don't know. I kind of think that the historians may be the star of that show. So you're going to hit this point where you're like, hey, wait a minute, there's an area where I can go to my left and circle back around. And that is where you will find the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular. This is a really fun show. This goes back to more of that MGM Studios style of theme park, because this is about behind the scenes. How do they pull off the stunts? How do they pull off all those amazing epic stunts that we see in movies like Indiana Jones? That's what this show is about. So going back to that behind the scenes of Hollywood part of this theme park. But we're going to keep heading this way. There's Epic Eats. If you're a big fan of funnel cakes, you're going to love Epic Eats. Right next to it is Oasis Canteen. Great place for alcoholic drinks. To your right, you're going to see Vacation Fun. This is a cute little short that you can watch in the Mickey Shorts Theater. Now before you hit Star Tours, here on your left, you're going to see Backlot Express Restaurant. Has a lot of your basic theme park food. My favorite from this place is a Cuban sandwich. It has a lot of seating both inside and out. Some restrooms to your right. And then Star Tours. Some people come to this park knowing it has a Star Wars land. They see Star Tours and they think, oh, well, here it is. Not true. This right here is basically in Star Wars Airport. You're going to get on a Star Tours vehicle and go through the galaxy, seeing different planets and experiencing different parts of the Star Wars universe. So since it goes all over, it has its own special place for you to take off. So here we are to an area where, remember I told you there were two ways you could go left? This is where they converge. Right here as you are looking at what used to be Muppets Courtyard, and then you start to make your way that way towards Galaxy's Edge. They started doing meet and greets in this area of the park several months back. You have Jiminy Cricket that'll meet on one side, then on the other side. Sometimes you get Mary Poppins, and sometimes you get Bert and the Penguin. Okay, so we were here just a moment ago, and I told you we're gonna go left. There are two different ways you can go left. We just went left that way towards Indiana Jones. Now I'm gonna take you left this way. Say hi to Jiminy Cricket again. So going this way, you have more restrooms right here on your left. They're in the back part of the Hyperion Theater, where you can see the Frozen sing-along celebration. And then you have the, when you get down to this walkway, the ABC commissary. Some people will tell you this is an underappreciated place to eat here. My wife really likes their pork tacos. They've got a salad that I like, and it usually has plenty of seating. Like, there are some restaurants that are notorious for having to struggle to find a table. I haven't had that problem at this place yet. I don't know if it's its location, that it kind of gets skipped over by a lot of people, but I can always find a table. And you can mobile order from this place. See how that Mediterranean salad, I've had that many times. It's really good, and like I said, my wife loves their shrimp tacos. It's her favorite thing to eat at this park. All right, here there is a meet and greet with both Mickey and Minnie. Line's only 20 minutes, that's pretty good. Gelato stand, where they have a very special gelato here. If you go eat breakfast at Ohana and you love the Pog juice, they have Pog gelato. Or would be sorbetto. I don't know. It's cold, it's creamy, and it's Pog. Okay, just here to the right is Baseline. If you've been with me in past videos, you know I love to eat at Baseline. Not a whole lot of food options there. It's really more of a place to get a nice beer. But they have a really good charcuterie plate. So I like to get our charcuterie. Find one of these outside tables, especially if it's a nice cool day, and just sit there, enjoy my meats and cheeses, and people watch. All right, so to our left, where all these loud noises are coming from, used to be Muppets Courtyard. Sadly, it is no more. I loved Muppets Courtyard. One of my favorite areas in all the 4 Disney parks. But things change, and it is now being made into Monstropolis. I wanted to show you this place called Ice Cold Hydraulics. It has snacks and drinks. It opened up, I think, 3 years ago. And it's a fairly popular place to get snacks. I would check it out when you're here. I know you're seeing what's to my right, and you're probably guessing, hey, look, more shops. They look like shops, they are not shops. You cannot enter those buildings. But it does look like you're on the streets of New York. Down here at the end for quite a while now, they've been doing a meet and greet with Goofy and Max. All right, now we are entering Batuu. If you do not know, Batuu is the name of the planet that you go on when you go to Galaxy's Edge, otherwise known as Star Wars Land. And just like that, you have stepped into another world. A world with Jedis. A world with Siths. A world controlled by the Force. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I think that the Imagineering team did an amazing job at creating this land. You truly feel like you have stepped in to the Star Wars universe. Now when you come into the land from this direction, the first attraction you're going to pass by is called Rise of the Resistance. And if you walk up to Rise of the Resistance and you see cast members lined up in front of it like that, that means the ride is down. This is one of the more common rides to go down in Disney World. There's just a lot of moving pieces to it, a lot of stuff going on. Just when you have that many variables involved, something's going to go wrong, right? But it is an amazing ride. If you're a huge Star Wars fan, if you've always wondered what would it be like to actually be in the midst of a Star Wars movie, that's your ride. One of my favorite memories of that ride is we came years ago with everybody on my side of the family, my sisters, my nephews, their kids, all of us. It was a huge group. It was great. My dad and his wife, like I said, there was a bunch of us. And we get off that ride, and my nephew Bronson, coolest kid you'd ever meet, gets off the ride and just immediately does this happy dance. Like feet going, arms swinging in the air, just pure joy pouring out of that kid, because that ride just made him so happy. I love that memory, and I love that kid. You're awesome, Bronson. Okay, this area right here is where they do meet and greets with the Mandalorian and Grogu. Baby Yoda will be there. I've never seen set times for him to come out, because I know sometimes people will just hang out, wait for him to arrive. Oh my goodness, he's in the market. He's walking our way.
My friend Ellie is a mechanic on Tatooine. I think you'll like her shop and her droid. Like you. That's someone. I think Grogu likes you. Stop squirming.
You have a baby like that too that you help carry around too, don't you?
Of course.
He's got a little sister. Get right there,
Very
Lily.
good.
How cool was that? That was perfect timing. All right, so this is the market in Batuu. You see, you can get little souvenirs to take home.
Come on, Decker, hurry up.
They have some galactic popcorn. snacks you can get back here. This little snack stand here at the end. And then you have this area where you can get Ronto wraps. The Ronto wraps are delicious. Basically a pita bread with the sausage, a little bit of pork loin, and a peppercorn sauce. It is delicious. It is one of my favorites here at Hollywood Studios. Okay, so as you come out of the market, you're going to have a couple of different options. To your right is a specialty store where you can get all sorts of amazing, cool Star Wars stuff. I have a past video where I toured this land pretty deeply, spent a good amount of time in that store. So look at my Star Wars video. I'll put a link in the description to that place. If you are a die-hard Star Wars guy or gal, you're gonna be in there for a while checking it out. And then across from it, this is Dock Bay 7. And this is where you can get a bunch of different meals. You can get Ronto wraps from here, but they also have a chicken plate and a beef tip plate. And it's really well themed on the inside too. So, Docking Bay 7. Then as you can see, we are right here. Where the famous Millennium Falcon can be found. There is a Millennium Falcon ride. It's called Smuggler's Run. Cool thing about it is it has lightning lane and standby. I mean single rider, I should say. It is a really fun ride. You can be either a pilot, a gunner, or an engineer. I'm known in these parts as the best engineer in the galaxy. My wife tries to tell you otherwise. Tell her she's wrong. Nobody beats my engineering skills. What a feast for the eyes. Absolutely love it. Imagineers did such an incredible job. Oh, look, it's Ray. Cool to see Ray out and about. We need good guys on the good side of the force, out and about in this land. All right, back here you have Olga's Cantina. As the name suggests, it's a little bar. They do serve a little bit of food in there, some snacks, but for the most part, it's about drinks. The atmosphere in there is really cool. It's a lot of fun. We'll come back there in a future video. Continue making your way back through Batuu. As you can see, Kylo Ren's ship is back here. Kylo Ren and some stormtroopers. And sometimes some Imperial admirals can be found in this area, questioning people, doing the work of the bad guys. And there's a milk stand where you can get blue and green milk. Somebody told me recently that they were going to get rid of the green milk, but I have not seen evidence of that yet. I'm not a big fan of the green milk, but the blue is good. If you're wanting a little drink, they can add alcohol to it as well. Yep, here are some stormtroopers.
Have a good day.
Okay, so as you saw, we came out of that area, and I'm gonna stop right over here. See if I can recenter us. So that's where you get the Ronto wraps. It's at the end of the market. You can see down that way is Docking Bay 7. Head on down, you'll hit Millennium Falcon just where we were. And if you come out from where we were a moment ago, and you keep walking, you're going to make your way out of Batuu. You're going to go from a planet in a galaxy far, far away to a backyard. So yeah, just as you saw earlier, Toy Story Land empties into Batuu. Batuu empties into Toy Story Land. It's all connected. But I didn't want to just walk through when we were here earlier, because I wanted you to show the different ways you can go from that central hub and where all it can take you. Because one of my goals here is prepare you for your time. The more you're prepared, the more fun you will have. Every day I'm at the parks, I come across at least one family that did not prepare themselves. They don't understand how this park works, how any of the Disney parks work. They don't know where things are at, and they struggle, they get frustrated, and it just breaks my heart every time I see it. Because people spend a lot of money to come here, they look forward to these trips, they get really excited about them, and you're expecting to have a lot of fun and make magical memories. The best way to do that is to prepare yourself. All right, it's close to time for my food to be ready. Food time. All right, I'm gonna make this short and sweet. I got the brisket melt from Woody's Lunchbox. It's one of their grilled sandwiches. It has beef brisket, barbecue sauce, cheese, and pickles make this sandwich. Comes with your choice of multiple different sides, cuties, tomato soup, or potato barrels. I got the potato barrels. This is a really good sandwich. I'm telling you, the bites with pickle in them are the best bites. That was good. Brisket sandwich from Woody's. Always hits a spot. All right, so done with lunch. I came back over by the Hyperion Theater. Remember, it's where they have the Frozen show. We walked by it earlier. I wanted to show you this boat right here. This is Dockside Diner. It's another one of the quick service places that are available here. This place specializes in different kind of hot dogs. There's some outdoor seating by it with umbrellas. Not a lot, but that place doesn't get terribly busy. Okay, so I'm sure you remember being here earlier. There's the Vacation Fun Short with Mickey. And you remember how earlier we started to go this way to make our way to Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular. Remember, there's the funnel cake stand I told you about earlier. Great funnel cakes there. It's very people-y here right now. All right, how to get around that crowd. If you keep making your way past Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular, you can be going along this walkway. To your left, you have Gertie. We love Gertie. Gertie's a great place for you to get some ice cream. I mean, what's better than ice cream from a dinosaur, right? Keep coming along this walkway. and you're gonna walk by the Primetime Cafe. This place is a lot of fun to eat. It's one of the more fun restaurants, in my opinion, at Disney World. The cast here does a great job of keeping the theme alive. You're back to the 1950s, eating with family, so you better mind your manners. No elbows on the table. Say please and thank you, or you will be corrected. It has a lounge right next to it. If you want to go in there, have a seat, get a drink. And then right next to it is Hollywood and Vine, which is a buffet style restaurant. Last I checked, it had character dining. Let me see if they still do character dining. Stop and ask one of the extremely helpful, very friendly cast members. They do have character dining there, and it is for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Take your pick, 3 meals. All right, so after you pass Hollywood and Vine, you have PV's, Polar Pipeline right here. You got somebody wanting a slushie on a hot day. This is the place to go. Otherwise, if you keep coming along that road, you were walking by Hollywood and Vine and Primetime Cafe, you're going to empty out onto Hollywood Boulevard, right where the Starbucks is located. So if you remember this from the beginning of our day, we walked right by this Starbucks. Now, if you're an observant person and you're looking at my surroundings, you're starting to pick up on the fact that I am back on Sunset Boulevard. And you're wondering, why? We already toured Sunset Boulevard. We know that there are shops to the left and the right. We know that there are snack stands. We know that there are quick service restaurants like Rosie's All-American Grill and Catalina Eddie's. So why am I back? Well, remember our experience on Tower of Terror earlier where the ride went down on us? The ride is back up. Because the ride went down, they gave us a lightning lane. So I'm running back here to lightning lane it so that you can ride it with me, because you either haven't ridden it, you want to know what the ride is about, how intense does it get, is it too much for me or for people in my family, or you know the ride, you love the ride, and you want to go along. Let's go. Today is a very typical Central Florida day for this time of year. When the clouds are covering the sun, it's not too bad. Get a little bit of a breeze, like, hey, this is nice. And that sun comes out. You're like, the sun is angry, my friends. Like an old man trying to return soup at a deli. Well, at least we get a second chance to look at more of the queue, right? The Tip Top Club. I love this ceiling. Looks like it's straight out of a hotel in a horror movie. Like Stanley Kubrick designed it.
And your right, please. Next party, come forward, scan either side. Once it's green, heading to your right, please. Scan there.
One stormy night long ago, 5 people stepped through the door of an elevator on one night.
That door is opening once again, and this time, it's opening for you. About to discover what lies beyond the fifth dimension, beyond the deepest, darkest corner of the imagination, in the Tower of the Terror. A warm welcome back to those of you who made it, and a friendly word of warning. Something you won't find in any guidebook. The next time you check into a deserted hotel on the dark side of Hollywood, make sure you know just what kind of vacancy you're filling, or you may find yourself a permanent resident of the Twilight Zone.
So this is what you see as you get off the ride. Sticking to that theme of an old, abandoned Hollywood hotel. Success. We got to drop. I love that ride. It was so much fun. All right, walking back down Sunset Boulevard. I'm going to start to make my way out of the park. But I don't think I pointed this out when we walked through Sunset Boulevard earlier. There's a caricature artist with a stand right here. You want to get some pictures done for you and your family? Yep. The summer heat is starting to settle in. I know it's not May yet, but in Florida, the summer heat comes early. That's all right though. I'm happy with the trade-off. Made our way back to the intersection of Sunset Boulevard and Hollywood Boulevard, and we're going to head down Hollywood Boulevard and make our way home. Need any help with your photo pass? They can help you right here. We've also got guest relations up towards the front where you can get help with issues. There's also a guest relations before you enter the park in case you have any issues with your ticket. Hey there. So I stopped in the parking lot to talk to a cast member, got completely distracted by our conversation, drove home and realized I never recorded my outro. So I'm here to thank you for being with me today. I hope you enjoyed our time at Hollywood Studios. If you're not that familiar with the park, I hope you learned some things that can help you plan your day there. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment. I know the park well, I can help you plan your day. And I want to thank you again for being with me. Keep the magic in you alive. Bye-bye.
Bye.